What if I told you America's front doors to the world? The airports that once symbolized power, prosperity, and prestige are now turning into ghost towns. Empty terminals, silent runways, and airlines fleeing to other countries. This isn't just about fewer flights. It's about the United States quietly losing its place at the center of the global map. For decades, U.S. airports like JFK, LAX, and Miami weren't just travel hubs. They were cultural icons. They represented the first impression of America, the moment millions of travelers stepped onto U.S. soil with dreams of Wall Street, Hollywood, or Harvard. But today, that image is crumbling. Across the nation, international air traffic has collapsed by 60 to 80% in some of the country's biggest airports. Airlines are cutting routes. Gates are shutting down. And the ripple effects are hitting tourism, education, business, and even America's global reputation. The world isn't waiting. While U.S. airports struggle, brand new hubs are rising across Asia, Europe, and the Middle East, offering travelers more options, better experiences, and faster access. The competition is fierce, and right now, America is losing. International arrivals are projected to drop by another 9.4% next year, stripping nearly $9 billion from local U.S. economies. That's not just about fewer tourists at Disney World or Las Vegas. It's hotels, restaurants, conferences, universities, and even small businesses across America losing the lifeblood of global visitors. Let's start in Portland, Oregon. Not long ago, its airport was celebrated as a welcoming gateway to the Pacific Northwest. Today, international traffic has plunged 73%. Gates are closed, some permanently. Airlines like Lufthansa and British Airways have walked away, shifting their entire operations north to Vancouver. Even cargo flights, critical for Oregon's exports, have rerouted to Seattle and Canada. Portland, once a proud connection point to the world, is now on the verge of irrelevance. If Portland's collapse sounds shocking, New York's story is even worse. JFK International Airport, once the airport that never slept, has seen international traffic fall by nearly 70%. Emirates, Virgin Atlantic, Swiss, big names have reduced flights, leaving travelers with fewer choices and long, frustrating delays. Boston isn't far behind. International arrivals are down 59%, and it's not just about tourism. Boston's universities are seeing fewer foreign students as visa delays discourage families from sending their children. Hotels around Cambridge and Back Bay are struggling at half capacity, devastating an economy built on education and international visitors. For decades, Miami was America's beating heart to Latin America. But now, international arrivals from the region are down 64%. Travelers from Brazil, Argentina, and Colombia are waiting 6 months or more just for a U.S. visa. And they're tired of it. Instead of waiting, they're choosing Europe. Spain and Portugal are becoming the new gateways for Latin American tourism and business. Meanwhile, Miami's hotels sit half empty, restaurants see fewer international diners, and cruise operators are warning of long-term damage. Phoenix once branded itself as an emerging global hub. That dream has collapsed. International arrivals are down 62%, with major European carriers pulling out. The ripple is brutal for the Southwest tourism economy. Without those flights, Arizona, Utah, and Nevada, states that thrive on global visitors, are struggling to fill tours, resorts, and attractions. Dallas-Fort Worth isn't just about passengers. It's the crossroads for global business and logistics. But with international arrivals down 57%, the city is losing direct links to key energy and manufacturing partners. Even FedEx and UPS are shifting operations abroad. For Texas, a state built on global trade, this is a serious blow. Seattle's story runs parallel. Once America's proud window to Asia, it's now facing a 69% collapse in Asian arrivals. Airlines like ANA have pulled routes, while British Airways has cut back heavily. Downtown hotels are operating at just 45% occupancy. Conferences and tech events, once filled with overseas visitors, are struggling to survive. If business is hurting in Dallas and Seattle, diplomacy is bleeding in Washington. International traffic at Dulles has plunged 65%, especially from Europe. Virgin Atlantic and Air France have scaled back operations, leaving Washington with fewer connections to its closest allies. The symbolism is powerful. America's capital, once the effortless gateway for presidents, prime ministers, and diplomats, is no longer as accessible. Hotels that thrived on embassy events are empty. Restaurants and service firms tied to global summits are closing. It's more than lost money, it's lost influence. And then there are the giants, Los Angeles and New York. For decades, LAX and JFK weren't just airports. They were cultural stages. Los Angeles represented Hollywood and global entertainment. New York symbolized Wall Street, Broadway, and the American dream. But today, at LAX, international traffic is down 71%. Film festivals and trade shows struggle to attract international participants. Even the city that once exported culture to every corner of the globe is finding itself harder to reach. JFK is even worse. International arrivals have collapsed by 78%, the sharpest decline in U.S. aviation history. Emirates slashed 60% of its flights. British Airways cut down London routes. Entire wings of the airport are abandoned, echoing like monuments to a past era of U.S. dominance. For millions of travelers, the first step onto American soil no longer begins in New York. And that quiet shift chips away at the mythology of America's global leadership. While America's gateways are crumbling, Canada and other global hubs are stepping in. Canadian families who once vacationed in Florida or Phoenix are now choosing Mexico, Jamaica, or Europe. Cross-border car trips are at their lowest levels since 2022. Meanwhile, hubs like Dubai, Singapore, Istanbul, and Doha are rising fast, offering world-class facilities, smoother visa processes, and more direct global connections. Travelers who once saw America as the obvious choice are now skipping it altogether. This isn't just about empty airports. It's about a nation losing its central position in global travel, commerce, education, and diplomacy. The U.S. risks being replaced, not just as a travel hub, but as the world's cultural and economic crossroads. If America can't fix its visa delays, rebuild confidence in its airports, and restore connections, the damage could become permanent. So here's the big question. Is America's decline in global travel just a temporary slump? Or are we watching the world move on without it? One thing is clear. When the planes leave, prosperity leaves with them. If you found this eye-opening, hit that like button. It helps more people discover the story. And don't forget to subscribe, because we're diving deeper into the global shifts shaping our future.